Then now we will discuss about the third component of an ecosystem, which is energy flow. Okay, energy flow means energy is being transferred from one place to another place. Since we are talking about ecosystem, we will say energy is being transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level, or one organism to another organism. Okay, so let's study about different trophic levels. Trophic level 1, trophic level 2, trophic level 3 and trophic level 4. Okay, so here the organisms which come under trophic level 1 are referred as primary producers. Okay, we know who are the primary producers. We have studied about productivity and primary productivity. Primary producers are nothing but plants. Okay, now who come under trophic level 2? Okay, why do we call them as primary producers? Plants, because they will produce their own food. Okay, then the organisms who will come under trophic level 2 are known as primary consumers. Okay, primary consumers are the organisms who will feed on primary producers. Okay, they will feed on this particular primary producers. If we are talking about plants as primary producers, then who are the primary consumers? Then cow are the primary consumers, because cow will feed on the plants. So the cow comes to second trophic level, whereas the plants or the producers always come under trophic level 1, because they will produce their own food, and all other trophic level are dependent on trophic level 1, which are primary producers. They are autotrophs, they will produce their own food. Okay, then trophic level 3, the organisms who will come in this category are known as secondary consumers. Okay, the secondary consumers are the organisms who will feed on primary consumers. Now the organisms who will feed on a cow will be wolf. Okay, they come under trophic level 3. Okay, so they are the secondary consumers. Then the organisms who will come under trophic level 4 are referred as tertiary consumers. Okay, who are the secondary consumers? Lion. Okay, so this is how we describe different trophic levels. These are the organisms who will come under respective trophic levels. Always primary producers come under trophic level 1, and they are known as producers. This organism who will generally feed on producers, they are herbivores. Okay, because they will always feed on this particular plant. They are known as herbivores. They will never eat another living organism or another living animal. Okay, they will not feed on any other animal. They will always feed on plant. So they are known as herbivores, whereas these two organisms are referred as carnivores because they feed on herbivores. They will feed on herbivores. That is the reason they are known as carnivores, because they eat another animal. So they are referred as carnivores. They will never eat another animal. They will eat only plants. So they are referred as herbivores. Okay. And what are lions? Lions are also carnivores of top priority or top category. So they are top carnivores. Okay, so they are known as top carnivores. So this is how we represent the different trophic levels. Always the organisms who will produce their food are plants. They are referred as primary producers. Okay, and the animals who will eat these primary producers are known as herbivores. They are also referred as primary consumers. Since they eat only the plants, they are known as herbivores. Here these two organisms are carnivores because they will feed on another animal, whereas they can be called as carnivores and top carnivores. Okay, so this is how we represent the trophic levels. I am sure you are very much clear about the different types of consumers. Okay, consumers are of three different types: primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Primary consumers are generally referred as herbivores. They always feed on primary producers. Secondary consumers will always feed on primary consumers. Tertiary consumers will always feed on secondary consumers. Okay, now when the plants are eaten by cow, energy which is present in the plant in the form of food, it will be transferred to cow. Okay, when the cow eats plants, the energy which is present in the plant will be transferred to cow. Okay, and when the cow is eaten by a wolf, again energy will be transferred from the cow to the wolf. When the lion eats the wolf, the energy will be transferred from the wolf to the lion. Okay. Otherwise, we will generally represent vulture as a top carnivore. Okay. Let's consider vulture here. Energy will be when one organism belonging to one trophic level is eaten by another organism belonging to another higher trophic level. The energy will be transferred from the lower trophic level to the higher trophic level. Okay, so energy is passing this way. This is known as energy flow. And if you see this, once the energy is being passed from a producer to a herbivore, or a producer to a consumer, consumer to a secondary consumer, then to a tertiary consumer, it is a unidirectional flow of energy. Okay, energy flow is always unidirectional because the energy which is which has been passed on from one trophic level to another trophic level, it will not come back. Okay, so the energy flow is always unidirectional. It is going from lower trophic level to higher trophic level. It is being passed on. Okay, now here, who is the source of energy for all the organisms? We know sun is the source of energy for all the organisms. Okay, when the sunlight falls on the plants, plants receive those sunlight and they carry out photosynthesis. So the energy flow begins here. Plants will absorb the sunlight and they will carry out photosynthesis. Then they will produce food and that will be transferred to the organism of next trophic level. Okay, now we know sun is the source of energy. Now when the sunlight comes, there are multiple radiations that are passed on in the sunlight. Now, do plants use all these radiations in order to carry out photosynthesis? No. Less than 50% of sunlight less than 50% of sunlight is referred as PAR. That is photosynthetically active radiation. Okay, less than 50% of the solar radiation, that is the radiation that we are getting from the sun, is photosynthetically active. Okay, only less than 50% of the radiation, photosynthetically active radiation. Now, out of this, this percentage, only 2 to 10% of PAR will be used by the plants. Less than less than 50% of the solar radiation is photosynthetically active radiation. That means only less than 50% can be used for photosynthesis. However, out of that percentage also, only 2 to 10% of photosynthetically active radiation is used by plants to carry out photosynthesis. Okay, so sun is the ultimate source of energy. Now, here I have mentioned when the primary producers are eaten by primary consumers, energy will be transferred from this trophic level to this trophic level. Now, it's very important to know that when we say energy, only 10% energy will be transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level. Okay, here also only 10% energy will be transferred from cow to wolf, and only 10% will be transferred from wolf to vulture. Okay, so this is known as Lindemann's 10% law. Okay, the law proposed by Lindemann says that when energy is being passed on from one trophic level to another trophic level, only 10% of energy will be transferred. Okay, then what happens to the rest 90%? It will be transferred to the environment. It is lost in the form of heat. Okay, it will be lost in the form of heat. 90% will be lost in the form of heat to the environment. Okay, when the energy is passed on from one trophic level to another trophic level, only 10% of the energy will be passed on to the next trophic level, whereas 90% of the energy is lost in the form of heat to the environment, in the form of heat. Okay, so this is known as Lindemann's 10% law. Okay, so this is all about energy flow. Energy flows from one trophic level lower to higher trophic level. Not all the energy will be transferred. Only 10% will be transferred from one trophic level to other trophic level. 90% will be lost in the form of heat. Okay, now who is the source of energy? Sun. And out of less than 50% of the solar radiation is photosynthetically active. Out of that, 2 to 10% will be only used by the plants for carrying out photosynthesis. Okay, and we have basic organisms coming under trophic level as primary producers. They are nothing but plants. The organism who will eat them are known as consumers. There are different types of consumers: primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary consumers are always herbivores because they will feed on this herbs, plants. Okay, and secondary and tertiary consumers will be always carnivores. Okay, the organisms who will be coming under trophic level 4 will be top carnivores. Next, let's study about this important topic known as food chain. Okay, what is food chain? When energy is transferred from producers to consumers, through different organisms, this is known as food chain. Okay, food chain means producer will be eaten by consumers, primary consumers, they will be eaten by secondary consumers, ultimately they will be eaten by tertiary consumers. So the energy has passed on from this level to this level. Okay, the energy has been initially found here. Now from here the energy has been transferred to tertiary consumer. Okay, the last type of consumer. Now in between there are multiple organisms coming. So when the energy is transferred from producer to the consumer through different organisms, this is known as food chain. Okay, so the food chain is of two types. GFC, that is grazing food chain. DFC, that is detritus food chain. Grazing food chain, this is detritus food chain. Okay, what is the difference between grazing food chain and detritus food chain? Grazing food chain means there is a producer, okay, they are plants. The herbivores will come and they will graze these plants, they will eat these plants, and from the plants the energy will be transferred to the grazing animal, from there to the carnivore, then to the top carnivore. This is referred as grazing food chain. So initially here, the initial organisms here or the basic organisms are producers. From producers, the energy will be transferred to consumers. Okay, so this particular type of food chain that I explained, this is nothing but grazing food chain. Okay, a herbivore will graze the primary producer and energy will transfer eventually in this way. Then what is a detritus food chain? Detritus food chain starts with the detritus. That means plant waste and animal waste. Who will feed on this particular detritus? Detritivores. That is the organisms who will feed on detritus. So from detritus, energy will be transferred to detrivores. Here energy will be transferred from producer to consumer. Here the energy will be transferred from detritus to detritivores. Here when we talk about consumers, all primary, tertiary, primary, secondary and tertiary consumers, they come in picture. Whereas here energy will be transferred from detritus to detrivores when detrivores are eating this detritus. Then again the energy will be transferred to the animals who will eat these detrivores. Detrivores feeding animals. For example, there is detritus. Okay, there's a waste. Let's take leaves. It will be eaten by detritivores, which are earthworms. And there are animals who will feed on these detrivores. Detritivores. Okay, example, bird. A bird will come and eat this earthworm. So the energy is being transferred from this detrivore to this earthworm to bird. This is known as detritus food chain. Okay, so this grazing food chain, it is commonly seen, or it is the channel for conduction of energy in aquatic ecosystem. This is predominantly seen in aquatic ecosystem. Okay, whereas detritus food chain is predominantly seen in terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, grazing food chain is a channel of conduction of energy or transfer of energy in aquatic ecosystem, whereas detritus food chain is the channel for transfer of energy in terrestrial ecosystem. So grazing food chain is commonly seen in aquatic ecosystem, whereas detritus food chain is generally seen in terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, while here in grazing food chain, let's take an example of producer, which is phytoplankton. We are talking about aquatic ecosystem. Phytoplankton, this will be eaten by primary producer, which is primary consumer, who is zooplanktons. And they will be eaten by fish, and they will be eaten by large fish. Okay, so this is generally seen in aquatic ecosystem, whereas leaves will be eaten by earthworm, eating, bird eating earthworm. This is generally seen in terrestrial ecosystem. So this is the speciality of grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Next, we will look into a small topic known as food web. Okay. We have seen what is a food chain. In food chain, there is one organism like grass, and a cow is eating this grass. It will be eaten by a wolf, which will be eaten by a vulture. This is a food chain. Okay, there is transfer of energy from one organism to another organism across different trophic levels. This is known as food chain. But in nature, this food chain doesn't occur naturally. Okay, this food chain doesn't happen or occur in the nature. Why? The reason is, if there is a particular food chain and it is mandatory that this organism has to eat this particular organism, then imagine if the cow is removed from the ecosystem, then the wolf cannot feed on this particular grass. Ultimately, what happens? The number of grass starts increasing. All the nutrients that are present in the soil will be absorbed by this grass. Ultimately, the grass will also die. Okay, wolf, anyways it is going to die because of lack of food, because there is no cow. When the wolf starts dying, the vulture will also start dying because there is no food. So the whole food chain will be ruptured or it will be damaged. Okay, so this food chain doesn't happen or doesn't occur naturally in our ecosystem. Then what actually occurs in our ecosystem? Something known as food web. That means the organism of belonging to one trophic level or the organism belonging to one food chain is also interconnected with the organisms belonging to another food chain. Okay, let's take an example. There is grass. There are deer eating this particular grass, or a goat or a sheep eating this particular grass, and there is lion eating this particular deer. There is a tiger eating this particular goat, and ultimately we have this vulture. Okay, these are the different food chains. If you see, these different food chains are interconnected. That means the carnivore, these are the producers belonging to trophic level 1, trophic level 2, trophic level 3, trophic level 4. Primary producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. Now if you see here, these organisms, these two organisms are the carnivores, whereas this organism is a herbivore. Okay. Now, herbivores of one food chain can be the food of carnivore of another food chain. So imagine this is a food chain, this is a food chain, this is a food chain. And here cow is eating a grass. This cow can also be eaten by the carnivore belonging to different food chain. Not necessary that this cow should be eaten only by this wolf. This cow could also be eaten by this lion. Or the cow can also be eaten by a tiger. Okay. So the herbivores of different food chains or herbivore belonging to one food chain can also be eaten by carnivores belonging to different food chains. Okay. Here herbivore belonging to one food chain can be eaten by carnivores of different food chains. Here also, the herbivores belonging to one particular food chain can be eaten by carnivores of different food chain. Not necessary that the goat should be eaten only by the tiger. Goat can also be eaten by lion and wolf also. Okay, now imagine the deer is completely gone from this particular ecosystem. Now what happens? Thinking that the deer is not present, all the lions will not keep quiet. The lions will not start dying. The lions will start feeding on the cow, or it will start feeding on the goat, which belongs to another food chain. This interconnected matrix of food chain is known as food web. This interconnected matrix of food chain. Interconnected matrix of food chain is known as food web. Okay, the food chain can be interconnected. The organism belonging to one food chain can be the food of organisms belonging to another food chain. Okay, if we have to specifically, if we become particular about one particular food chain, then this particular food chain cannot happen naturally in the ecosystem. Ultimately, whole ecosystem will be destroyed. Okay, if the food chain happens in the particular ecosystem, then that becomes an effective ecosystem. So food web actually occurs naturally, whereas food chain doesn't occur naturally. It cannot be seen naturally in an ecosystem, whereas food web is naturally seen. Okay, so this is all about the energy flow and food chain and the food web. Let's look into few terms hereafter. Under this chapter, we'll have to look into two different terms. I have been using this term known as trophic level, okay, many a times. Now we should know what is a trophic level. Organisms having same food habit, they occupy a certain position in an ecosystem, it constitutes a trophic level. Okay, if the cow, deer, goat, sheep, all these organisms come in trophic level 2, because all of them are primary consumers. Okay, they all belong to trophic level 1. Sorry, trophic level 2, they are referred as primary consumers. Why they come in trophic level 2? Because they have the same food habit. That means all of them they are herbivores. They feed on plants. Okay, so this is, and all the plants, all the producers, they come in trophic level 1 because their habit is the same. Okay, all the organisms who are herbivores, they come in trophic level 2, and all the carnivores, they come in trophic level 3, and top carnivores they come in trophic level 4 because they have similar food habit. So all the organisms who have similar food habit will be put in one particular trophic level. Okay, so if you read it again, organisms having same food habit occupy a certain position in an ecosystem. That is known as trophic level. Okay, another term we should be knowing is standing crop. Every ecosystem, if you see, if you consider a particular geographical area, each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time. If I tell you, in a particular time, we have to look for the standing crop of trophic level 2. Okay? If I say, go and just check for the standing crop in a particular geographical area and look for the standing crop of trophic level 2. Then which organism you will consider? You will consider all the herbivores, because trophic level 1 includes all the producers. Trophic level 2 means all the primary consumers. Who are the primary consumers? All herbivores like goat, sheep, cow, buffalo, okay, or deer. What you will do? You will count the number of all these organisms. That becomes the standing crop for that particular trophic level. Okay, likewise we can calculate the standing crop for any trophic level. If I ask you to count or measure the standing crop of trophic level 3, then who will you consider? The tiger, the lion, wolf, all these organisms will come under trophic level 3. Okay, so that becomes the standing crop for that particular trophic level. Okay, we'll read it again. Each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time. That is called as standing crop. It is measured as mass or number in a unit area. Either we will measure the standing crop in the form of mass. Okay, when I say mass, that is biomass, or we will count it in the form of a number. We will say there are 10 goats, 20 sheep, 30 cows and 4 deers. This is how we measure the standing crop of a particular trophic level. Okay, we can we can measure the standing crop for every trophic level. Okay, whereas which trophic level does human being belong to? Okay, for this we cannot give a specific answer, because if you see the trophic level, leave the trophic level 1, trophic level 2, trophic level 3 and trophic level 4. We come in all these 3 trophic levels. Okay, not all 3, we come in both these trophic levels. Okay, human beings can be considered under trophic level 2 and trophic level 3, because we are herbivores also. We act as primary consumers and secondary consumers also. Okay, either we eat on primary producers or we eat the primary consumer. Okay, human beings cannot be specifically categorized into any trophic level. Similar way, the decomposers also cannot be categorized into a particular trophic level, because the decomposers will act on all the trophic levels. They will, when the plants die, they will decompose plants. When the primary consumers die, they will decompose this as well. When these two die, the decompose will decompose these two trophic levels also. So even the saprophytes means the organisms which act on dead and decaying body parts. These organisms cannot be categorized into any trophic level. Okay, so this is all about trophic level and standing crop. In our next class, we will see another topic. We will discuss another topic known as ecological pyramid. Okay, thank you.